How the fuck's it going, everyone? Back today with another vid. It's horrible outside here in the northeast of the UK, and I figured I would come along and do a bit more of a laid back vid, and one that I've had kind of on the side for a little while, and I've been meaning to come along and do it. So yeah, I figured it's just a bit more laid back and a bit more kind of fun and interactive. And this is kind of going to be a bit of a contest entry and a response video all rolled into one, as well as a huge congratulatory video to the mighty Mark G with a C, who over at his YouTube channel just surpassed 2,000 subscribers. Congratulations, mate, that's fucking awesome. Well deserved. Mark's channel is one that I've been trying to kind of catch up with his content for, just because I joined this shit a little bit late and only discovered some of these channels very recently, or this year I should say. So yeah, I've got a lot of kind of catching up to do, but yeah, that's awesome to see. It's great to see your channel kind of expanding. It's well deserved, and yeah, congratulations again there. That's fucking awesome. And for the occasion, Mark has come up with a contest, as well as like a bit of a question thread kind of thing for us all to join in on. I really like this idea. I don't even know what the contest is going to be or anything like that. I think it's just a giveaway or something. But I really loved just the questions that he came up with. I thought it would be a really fun thing to do. And again, I love the kind of interaction between like different channels in this community. It's absolutely sick. And yeah, it just makes me love this music and this shit even more. So yeah, without further ado, what we've got going on in the background, first of all, this is Hour of Penance out of Italy with their 7th full-length album entitled Cast the First Stone. This was released in 2017 through Prosthetic Records. If you know anything about kind of the Italian brutal death metal scene, this thing is not going to surprise you in the slightest. This is very run-of-the-mill brutal death metal, nothing slamming or anything like that, and it doesn't even creep close to the kind of deathcore sort of sound. Very, very bludgeoning, very brutal, pretty well produced, and really, really technical. You will hear like twiddly bits of soloing and lead work in the background as we go through. Lots of blast beats, the double kicks are beautiful, really, really crisp and clear, and yeah, just really nasty shit, really good fun. Really kind of unchallenging if you like that style already, very challenging if you're not into brutal death metal, I suppose. But yeah, don't pull this one off the shelf too often, and I probably should get a bit more of their music in the kind of old CD collection there. I've got Sedition as well, but yeah, they've got plenty of other albums to be kind of cracking on with, so yeah. There we go. Hour of Penance, Cast the First Stone, go and check that shit out. So, as I say, this is Mark's contest. It's a response vid to Mark. I will be kind of linking all of the channels that I do reference in this vid in the description below, so go and check them out. If you like extreme metal in any facet, you will dig their content. Mark has come up with, so it's like 3 categories of questions. So it's see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. I will describe what those things mean as I'm going along, but I'm thinking I'll just go with it, and then like as we go through, I'll describe what the fuck I'm doing. So first one is see no evil, which the idea of this one is, so it's show 2 albums, it's going to be 2 albums per category, that has incredible artwork that you love, artwork that makes you pick the record off the shelf, and when you see it on Instagram or social media, indeed YouTube as well, it makes you want to kind of go back to it, and you're like, oh shit, I really need to listen to that again, or want to listen to that again, just because it looks sick and it never gets old. So I picked 2 records that kind of first came to mind for this category. This is Craven Idol out of the UK with their, I want to say 3rd full-length album. It could be their sophomore though, so don't quote me on that. I'll say 3rd for now. Entitled Forked Tongues. I can't remember actually when this came out. Around 2021, I want to say. But yeah, this was put out through Dark Descent Records. This is a blackened thrash, done absolutely exquisitely, and you can kind of get that from the artwork. Kind of reminds me of like Absu's kind of artwork style to a degree. But yeah, This is pretty much an artwork that embodies and encapsulates everything I love about extreme metal art. You can see the brush strokes everywhere. It's super, super detailed. It's just like a crazy looking landscape. Kind of reminds me of Lord of the Rings or some shit. With like a exploding volcano with what looks like a hydra or something coming out. With a bunch of people stood here around the lava. And then we've got some sort of like god or deity or something kind of riding towards the dragon thing. And I assume they're about to engage in epic warfare, whilst these poor people down here watch and potentially get burned to death. So yeah, that's really nice. I'm not actually sure who did this artwork. Is this one that... Yes, this is one that kind of folds out into like an entire piece. So we've got like lightning and water, and it's pretty much every single like plague that you could imagine, or every single like affliction that you could kind of think of, whether natural or otherwise, kind of all happening at once. So yeah, I'm pleased I'm not stood down there with that lot. This makes me want to listen to the album. I think the artwork's probably better than the album actually is. Very riffy, very thrashy. If you like the kind of black and thrash stuff of like Destroyer 666, any bands like that, even Absu, then you will dig Craven Idol. There's some really nice riffing on this thing. Venomous Rites, the opening track, is absolutely killer. Love that kind of twiddly, sort of technical lead riff going on in that one. But yeah, absolutely love that artwork, and it makes me want to pick this album off the shelf a little bit more than perhaps I normally would if it had just a run-of-the-mill artwork. This was put on red vinyl. Figured I might as well show that as well while I'm here. So yeah, kick things off. Forked Tongues by Craven Idol. And the second album I want to show, and this is testament to the artwork, to be honest. This is Bellwitch with Mirror Reaper. So of course the artwork was done by Mariusz Lewandowski, and this was kind of one of his first works that broke into the kind of, not mainstream, but it gained popularity through the metal underground because of its like grandeur. Basically, it shows a huge Reaper coming out of a mirror with this tiny like Grim Reaper looking really forlorn and lost down here. This is a huge, crushing, like grandiose Funeral Doom album. It's 82 minutes in length, and it is not an easy listen by any stretch of the imagination. One of the most challenging albums in my collection, I would probably argue, just due to how slow and sparse and expansive it is. But the artwork makes me want to pick this album off the shelf far more than I normally would with a Funeral Doom album. I've got shitloads of Funeral Doom in my collection, and I mean, how often I pull those off the shelf really depends on my mood, and like, my mood doesn't really call for Funeral Doom all that often. It's one of those like itch scratches when I really need it. But yeah, this artwork, when I see it, it reminds me to go and listen to it again. And as a result, this is one of my favourite Funeral Doom albums ever written. It took me a while to get into it. It was the artwork that kind of drew me in the first place. And yeah, absolutely killer. Rest in peace, Mariusz Lewandowski. He's done shitloads of artworks. Very recognisable style. It usually portrays like an enormous figure with a smaller figure down in the bottom corner, looking very small and insignificant in comparison. But yeah, really good stuff. An album that, I don't know, it's an essential if you like your Funeral Doom, basically. So yeah, that was the See No Evil category. Next up, I've got the Hear No Evil category. So I really loved this idea. So Mark's come up with a question that pretty much gets your opinion across. It gives you a chance to rave about stuff that perhaps other people don't like. So this is actually, pick 2 albums where you will hear nothing bad about them. No matter how much bad publicity it gets, no matter how much criticism it gets negatively or even otherwise, to be fair, these will always be albums that you love and will always listen to regardless of the bullshit and noise going on around you. Loved this one. I could have picked a few. I nearly picked Sunbather by Death Heaven, but that might have been a slightly obvious choice for this. What I have actually gone with, first of all, is Old Nick with I Am Vampire Castle. I can't remember how many albums in this was. I want to say it was either second, third or fourth. You'll have to narrow it down after that. But yeah, Old Nick plays a very... I'll rave about Old Nick all the time, so you probably know exactly what this is, but it's one of Abysmal Spectre's projects. They play a kind of very wacky, zany style of like vampire-themed raw black metal mixed with like dungeon synth elements. It's really goofy, and it's one of those albums that garners a lot of praise from the open-minded and a lot of criticism and hatred from the kind of black metal purists, if you will, the people that feel like black metal should remain untarnished and evil sounding. This is kind of like Scooby-Doo black metal, if you will, but I love it, man. I think people listen to this too much on the surface level and can't actually bring themselves to understand how well this is written. It's so goddamn catchy, to the point of absurdity, to be honest. Absolutely fantastic stuff. If you wanted something a bit different in your black metal and you're open to a bit of silliness and a bit of like goofiness, then Old Nick and anything Abysmal Spectre has done so far will scratch that itch and float your goat. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Love the artwork as well. Could go either way with Old Nick. Some of the artworks, are very, I don't know, tongue-in-cheek. But yeah, this one's really cool. I Am Vampire Castle, Old Nick. Just worth your time eternally. Absolutely killer. And the next one, for the same reason I nearly put Death Heaven on here, I've picked Alcest with their latest full-length album entitled Spiritual Instinct. This came out in 2019 through Nuclear Blast Records. This one, it's kind of black gazy, kind of shoegazy. It's like atmospheric black metal, if you will. Lots of clean vocals on this thing. Nij, I'm not sure if that's pronounced correctly, but he has a very, very ethereal sounding, very dreamlike vocal style. His piercing shrieks are really, really fucking killer, but he uses them quite infrequently. Most of the vocal work on here is kind of clean, which is why Alcest can be the target of quite a lot of, we'll say, skepticism. Yeah, this songwriting is fantastic. When those kind of shrieks come in, they evoke such a kind of, such emotion, basically. Just really well written. There's a track on here, which track is it? Sapphire, the third track, which doesn't actually have any lyrics to it. It's just Nij kind of, I don't know, he's just singing, but with sounds. It almost sounds like a fictional language. And I just think that's really cool. He kind of sung it based on a dream he had, he said, which is very hippy-dippy and whatever, but yeah, very cool. Absolutely love that. This band's out of France, by the way. Yeah, no matter how much shit that gets, and that band, and even that kind of sound style gets, I will always love that album. And a fantastic live band, might I say, as well. Okay, so that was the Hear No Evil section, and now for the Speak No Evil section, which I've kind of had to improvise a bit here. This was meant to be two albums that Mark G with a C had actually like recommended that I've gone and bought myself, but because I haven't really been able to like get into his content as much as I would like, and because, as I say, like I typically buy albums based on a list that I've made months and months ago, so I've normally splashed my budget by the time I'm getting to these vids, so it's uncommon that I actually buy things based on videos like straight away. So maybe in a few months time, that's when Mark will come in and I'll be able to kind of shout him out once again. But he kind of gave the option of like pick two albums where you've found the album through the VC or through somebody else's video, which I quite liked. So I've tried to stick within the UK for at least one of them. The other one is a US YouTube channel. The second channel is not actually an active channel anymore, I don't think. I've been dying to get him back here and doing his thing. He's got a really sick YouTube channel as well. I was going to go UK first, but I've kind of segued into this channel first, so here we go. Without further ado, This is Trog with Of Vomit Reborn. As you can imagine, this thing is full of romantic kind of ballads. Kidding, of course. This is kind of... It's kind of modern death metal. I struggled to kind of think about what to say there for a second. It's kind of old school death metal, but it's done in the modern way. It kind of fits in with bands like Sanguisugaborg and, I don't know, Frozen Soul, 200 Stab Wounds. But this is much better in my opinion. It kind of stays away from the brutal side of it a bit more than those other bands managed to. And the songwriting is absolutely stellar. It's really chunky sounding. Pete's vocals on this are absolutely disgusting. They've almost got a whispery tone. And the channel that I actually found this on was Pete, the vocalist of Trog's channel, entitled Pete the Guttural Monk. He's also called that on Instagram, so please go and follow him over there. He's a bit more active over there, though I haven't seen him post for a little while. Yeah, go and show that channel some love. He's got an obscene CD collection, mainly consisting of death metal. But yeah, really, really good stuff. Please go and check that out. It's just like a 6-track EP, self-released, and it's absolutely killer. I'm hoping we get a vinyl pressing of this at some point, and I'm sure we will at some point. But yeah, fantastic stuff. I think this band's based out of New Jersey, if I remember that correctly. But yeah, Pete the Guttural Monk, and that's Trog with Of Vomit Reborn. And the next channel I want to shout out is Cavernous Carnage. Dave over there, he's absolutely killing it at the minute. I love his content. He's so fucking... He's got such a dry, deadpan humour, and it just makes us laugh along with him the whole goddamn time. But he actually... I was very familiar with this album, and I'd heard it a ton. I was very familiar with both of Demolition Hammer's earliest albums, this one, Tortured Existence, but I didn't know this got a repress. So this is their sophomore, Epidemic of Violence. I think he showed both of those aforementioned albums in one of his collection updates, and I was like, oh shit, Dave, nice one, cheers mate. So yeah, I went and picked this up straight away. As soon as I saw it got a repress. I don't even think he mentioned it got a repress, but I was like, hang on a second, I'm pretty sure that's pretty hard to come by, and he's managed to pick up both of them at the same time. So yeah, I went to have a look, and lo and behold, it had been repressed by Century Media this year. So yeah, cheers for that, Dave. Awesome stuff, and keep the good work going. Absolutely love his channel over there. He's always doing like response vids to my absolutely dumb shit over here. So yeah, if you enjoy my content, then please head over to him. I will link his channel in the description box, as always. Same with Pete, and same with Mark, G with a C. So yeah, that was my See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil kind of contest entry, I guess, as well as response vid. Go and check out the other channels that have been doing this kind of thread. Really fucking cool idea from Mark over there. And again, cheers man, fantastic stuff. Absolutely love to see the 2,000 subs over there. Well deserved. And keep up the fantastic work. Keep up the recommendations. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Take care as always. And I will catch you in the next one.